Hey everybody, my name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and what I want to talk about today is the Republican and Democrat Party. In the sense that a lot of people oftentimes talk about the possibility of bringing libertarian ideas to the major parties. And I'll talk about sort of what my opinion on that is in just a second. Let me just re-emphasize why I focus on the Libertarian Party and why that's where my energies tend to be focused on. The reason is the Libertarian Party is the vehicle that is always libertarian. You can always speak libertarian, be libertarian within the Libertarian Party. And it's growing. It's growing a lot faster than most third parties, if not all third parties. And I do think it's a project, it's a long-term project that has a lot of potential and I think will get to where it needs to get to. So I'm focusing my energies there. I know people like me, Larry Sharp, etc. are really focusing our energies on growing and moving that to its potential. But it doesn't necessarily mean for those who want to venture and explore the possibility of bringing libertarian ideas through the Libertarian Republican Party, it doesn't necessarily mean there aren't possibilities, especially if you're already naturally sort of more left-leaning or more conservative-leaning, etc. So people always cite that it's more natural for libertarians to maybe run as a Republican, that maybe they should focus on the Republican Party. I disagree with that assessment. Yes, you have people like Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, Justin Amash, who I am a big fan of. There are great congressmen and a great senator. But they were elected in a very particular window coming out of the 2008 election. In the 2008 election, the Republicans got walloped. And then after 2012 they got walloped again. So basically in the 2008 and 2012 election there was sort of an identity crisis going on in the Republican Party. And basically there was an idea of figuring out what is the new sort of recipe, what's the new sort of coalition message that will bring the Republican Party back to power. While certain libertarian ideas did eventually make it within that mix, libertarian ideas as a whole, the libertarian label, did not. There were basically times where it flirted with that idea, and that's how you ended up getting a Rand Paul, a Thomas Massie, and a Justin Amash. But at the end of the day, it was Donald Trump who won in 2016. And with Donald Trump's win, that window closed. While some may say that some of the things that Trump says may have the tiniest hint of libertarianism, at the end of the day, what Donald Trump signals to the Republican Party is that the way you win is through more of a right-wing populist method or message, not libertarian ideas. So in that case, I don't anticipate that libertarian ideas after Trump's win will fare as well as they may have before Trump's win, when the Republican Party was still sort of in that, we need to figure out what to do, we keep losing. Now they're winning again. In a post-Trump world, I'm not sure if libertarian candidates will have the same ability to gain traction as they did prior to Trump's win, because now Trump again signals that right-wing populism is a winning message. Now Democrats are now going through that same sort of identity crisis. It was basically they lost big in 2016, and ever since then they've pretty much lost every special election that's come up. So now they're reassessing their message. Now initially probably the most natural thing that they're going to flirt with is sort of a very strong progressive message, because Bernie Sanders had such a groundswell of support during the primaries, in the same way that Ron Paul had such a groundswell of support when he ran in 2008 and 2012. Although, just like the libertarian message within the Republican Party, over time that will fade, and they'll be competing. And the things there will be competition for what is the identity of the Democrat Party. So there is a window for maybe a libertarian-leaning Democrat to win a race or two. So you can have sort of a libertarian Justin Amash, a Democrat Justin Amash, and a Democrat Rand Paul, a win probably over the next 8 years as the Democrats go through their identity crisis. But that window will close too. Either in 2020 or 2024, more than likely, there will be a sort of left-wing populist who will win an election. And again, that window will close and the window will switch. But again, running as a libertarian-leaning Democrat or Republican does require you to pay a lot of lip service to that party's base, which is not libertarian. So you do have to water down and be not necessarily up and down libertarian to operate successfully within these parties? How many times do people have to call out people like Rand Paul, not necessarily on what they do, but on what they say, just because, again, they're working within that party structure and sometimes have to say things that upset other libertarians. So just something to think about. Okay, so again, I'm in the Libertarian Party. I'm focusing on the Libertarian Party because here I can be libertarian. I don't have to apologize for being libertarian, and I can campaign on a libertarian message and not have to walk on glass. So bottom line is, there will be opportunities for libertarian ideas to peek their head within the Republican and Democrat parties. But the Republican and Democrat parties will always be the Republican and Democrat parties, and will always appeal to their progressive base and their conservative base, and at best you might be able to move the needle a little bit. But in the long run, have a party that's base is libertarian, that spreads libertarianism through osmosis, in a sense that a lot of times people follow. I remember going to the Libertarian Leadership Academy, Michael Pickens' Libertarian Leadership Academy. He always shows this video where there's just one person dancing, and that one person dancing leads to a second person dancing, and once a second person dances, everybody else starts dancing along with them because they're like, okay, now it's okay. So once as the Libertarian Party grows, it becomes more okay to embrace libertarian ideas. It becomes more credible to embrace libertarian ideas. So as we grow, the size of the Libertarian Party is a signal to others that it's okay to be libertarian. There are a lot of people with libertarian leanings that won't be libertarian just because they don't feel like they want to be part of the mainstream in a sense. But as you grow, you keep becoming marginally more credible. Becomes marginally more all right to be libertarian to some people. They join the fold, it gets bigger, and then more people join the fold. And we just got to keep growing it, and that will happen over time. Problems with the Republican and the Democrats is that as they get bigger, they signal that it's okay to be progressive or conservative, not necessarily libertarian. So you might be able to get a libertarian idea out here and there and get a libertarian legislator here and there, and that's great. We should hope that happens. But in the long run, that's not the best route. My name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com. Have a great day and enjoy.